In this video, I want to talk about a couple of teams in the 2018 World Cup that I felt were unfortunate, unlucky, and should have went further than they did. Now, I keep the scope of the candidates who I consider unfortunately unlucky down to a minimum. Here you see only two countries/teams because I have a very strict lens definition of that, and I don't want to include more than just a couple because then it kind of gives off the impression of excuse making, and I think there are only a finite number of teams that really, truly can be said got unlucky, unfortunate. Some may bring up Senegal as a possible candidate because they were eliminated on fair play points. I don't consider that unlucky because fair play points, a team still has, a heavy, control over how many yellow cards that they accumulate. And the rules are the rules, whether we agree with them or not. I reserve the title of this video for teams that, say couldn't finish their chances, were the dominating side for most of their games, but relented own goals or scrappy goals by the opposition, even though they clearly played like they deserved more from the match. That's what I really mean by unfortunate, unlucky. And here I only have two, as you can see. The first one I want to talk about this is going to be a shorter video because there are only two teams here. Morocco, the Atlas Lions, who were in Group B of the 2018 World Cup. I consider Morocco really unlucky because they finished in last in their group, but they played like the second best team overall in Group B. For my money, I thought Morocco were the second best side. Portugal was 90% the Cristiano Ronaldo show, albeit in a classic draw with Spain in the opener in Group B. Really, Morocco, if you look at their game against Iran, they gave up an own goal, which I believe was the first own goal of the tournament, off of an Iranian free kick in the dying stages of the match. A game in which, for not the entire game, but for, I would say, a slight majority, they were controlling the tempo. And they also were the better side, the much more domineering team against Portugal in their second match in the group. But they lost because of an early goal through, yet again, Cristiano Ronaldo. Once Portugal took the early lead, Morocco was pretty much the only side in that game for 80-plus minutes that really produced any chances to come back into the match, possibly come from behind and win it. They just couldn't score. And it was a late goal in their first match against Iran and an early goal in their second match against Portugal that gave them an early exit. And this was a team that entered this tournament undefeated under two-time winning AFCON manager Hervé Renard. A lot of players that play in European clubs. Really talented squad with Belhanda, Yusuf Benatia, Amin Harit. So I thought Morocco was really, really unfortunate. Even in their last match against Spain, they took the lead against Spain twice in a game in which they were already eliminated, playing for compensation. They did end up getting a draw, but they could have very well have won that game, as well. And I really don't feel that 1 point from 3 games was an accurate reflection of the overall quality that this Moroccan team has. It turned out that Iran was the surprise of the group. Most of us thought it would have been Morocco. But of all the teams that didn't advance, I thought Morocco, as far as their on-field performance, they were one of the best. Maybe 2022, they will have better tides swing their way. The other team I want to talk about is Peru. La Blanquiroja, Los Incas. Peru had, in my opinion, the most frustrating match to watch of the entire group stage against Denmark. And this was a match that I thought was going to be a tight, close battle, most likely for the second spot in Group C behind France. And lo and behold, it did turn out to be a decisive match for deciding who would come in second in Group C. But it was, save for the scoreline, it was a beatdown, a complete beatdown of Denmark by Peru. I don't think I remember a World Cup game in recent memory where one team asserted their will and thoroughly dictated the game as much as Peru did, really, and had Denmark holding on for dear life. But this was a game that took the concept of failing to put away your chances and injected with steroids, because I was watching this with a Peruvian friend, and even from a YouTubing, impartial, objective analysis standpoint, Peru really should have won this match, and they should have won this match by maybe even 2 or 3 goals, because Denmark really didn't produce much except on the counterattack, really from like the 55th minute onward in the second half. Peru did really an excellent job of pinning them into their own half. Peru did everything in this match. This is my overall analysis of this game between Peru and Denmark. If I had to put it into just one sentence, I would say this. Peru did everything as perfectly possible as they could, except scoring. The amount of opportunities that went the way of Paulo Guerrero when he came on as a substitute, the missed penalty of Christian Cueva, the domination of Andre Carrillo and Advincula on the right-hand, left-hand flanks. They made Denmark look like a Sunday League team. I mean, no offense to my Danish subscribers, but that match should have been a lot closer than it was, and it wasn't. It was a team that capitalized their use of Poulsen on the counter, and you can't blame Denmark. You can't deride them for it. Peru were punished. They were a team that were left to rue their missed chances, and it ultimately, in my opinion, cost them progression, because they could have afforded to have lost to France, whom, for my money, they still played well against, and then they beat Australia in the final group game. They would be in second, and they probably would have played Croatia in the round of 16 and not Denmark. But this is unfortunate, because the way that Peru qualified in such dramatic fashion under coach Ricardo Gareca, the getting back to the World Cup after 36 years, and the quality on this team, I didn't feel like they deserved to be eliminated after 2 games. But at the end of the day, they only had themselves to blame, because they just couldn't score. And they couldn't score until their final game against Australia, where they got a 2-0 compensation win. But it was just unfortunate. They were an exciting team to watch, very passionate, but they showed their inexperience. They showed relative tournament inexperience, and they lost to a pragmatic team of a Northern European in a Northern European World Cup. So those are my 2 candidates for unfortunately unlucky in the World Cup. I think Morocco and Peru. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe. I'll see you later today. Have a good one. Much love and peace.